Heckler and Koch. Axis 14715. Built by Benchmade in Benchmade's factory. Probably designed by Benchmade. Maybe. Not sure. The only problem with this knife is that it's discontinued. It's kind of a major bummer. So, dimensions on it. It's got a D2 blade. Sweet. 60 to 62 HRC. Blade length of 3.7 inches. Open length of 8.34. Closed length of 4.64. So you got a blade length of 3.7 and a closed length of 4.64. So apparently that's a pretty good ratio, right? It's actually less than, the blade is less than an inch shorter than the handle. It's pretty efficient. Open length of 8.34. Handle thickness of a ½ inch. Pretty robust. And a weight of 4.96 inches. And I think the blade is thicker than your typical Benchmade. Typical Benchmade is about 125 thousandths, I'll say. Somewhere in that neck of the woods. Maybe actually 125 thousandths to like a 1100ths, you know, somewhere in that range normally. An example would be the old 710. So you can see it's a little thinner. 710 is a little thinner, their typical thickness. This one's actually a little thicker. And handle thickness on the between the two, this should be a little narrower. I'm not really sure if that's going to come out too well. And kind of the comparison knife to it that I have anyway is Axis Striker. Benchmade branded. Dimensions on that. Let's put that right there. Pop that out. So dimensions on this guy, on the Striker, Benchmade, Axis Striker 908. 154 cm, 58 to 60R HRC. Blade length of 3.6 inches, so it's a 1/10 inch shorter, theoretically. Blade thickness of 124 thousandths, so it's again another 1/8 inch blade. Handle thickness of 47 hundredths, so a little thinner, for about a half, well, 5/100ths of an inch thinner, or something in there, yeah. Weight of 4.38 ounces, overall length of 8.3, and a closed length of 4.72. So then again, that's kind of efficient blade to handle ratio. We'll put them out here. So it is the Tonneau version. They did have a kind of a clip. I think they called it a clip. Pretty cool. I went for the Tonneau. And that's cool. I like it. I think I haven't really used it a lot. I did carry it. Initially, I was carrying it, but then I stopped. Because it's discontinued, I can't replace it. So, I don't know. I would like to carry it. I just haven't yet. But it's a pretty cool knife. For sure. I think it's a better knife even than the Striker. The Striker's a little more carryable. It's a little bit lighter. It's a little thinner. It does have a deep carry pocket clip. The unique hole pattern. Like a regular old, the regular 3-hole clip won't actually fit in this. It will fit this. These are the same. And again, it's got a Benchmade painted clip on there because I took the HK clip off when I got the knife for some reason. I think it was bent. I don't know. Hopefully I didn't throw it away because it was that, what do they call that? Not anodized, but they're coated clip, not painted. Can't think of that word right now. Parkerized. Yeah, it's parkerized, such as that. That's actually parkerized. And then this is parkerized as well. And this knife actually came with a painted clip too. So anyway, back to the HK. Pretty nice, compact, a little thicker, a little bit more robustly built than this. Kind of like, I don't know, halfway between something like this and like the Adamas. So good combination. It does have peel ply G10, more reminiscent of what Spyderco does. I actually have this on hand as well. So if you got like any Spyderco G10 peel ply, it's pretty much the same thing. Maybe a tad bit more aggressive, but not much. Not like a Cold Steel, Recon. And I'm just pointing this out because they kind of have this G10. This is kind of peel ply, a little bit different though, honestly. And then you got your good old 710 version, which is a little slicker. It's almost like it has a coating on it, but more durable. Does not show wear. So that's one benefit of this style, is that it is American G10, I guess you could say, but it does have kind of a coating on it. It's not quite the peel ply. So then you got, actually it's probably pretty darn similar to an Emerson as well. So if you have an Emerson, that's pretty much the same peel ply. So just pointing that out. Action on it is smooth, stellar, real nice. The access bar fits a little closer to the handle, which I think it's pretty nice because, like if you're like in an emergency, you have to pop the knife out quick, the blade out quick or whatever. It's not going to affect that. The only thing it might affect is retracting the blade. And it is a little closer into the handle than any other Benchmade. Like these stick out a little further, if that makes sense. A little easier to grab. So I guess there's that. Same with 710. But it is what it is. Doesn't bother me a bit. Maybe if you're wearing gloves, it might. Just a tad. It's kind of got my preferred pivot screw and pivot itself. Like it's kind of a hard anodized coating on it that does not really wear as much. And I've carried this quite a bit, and it does have a different cup on it. This one does, but it's kind of the same coating, kind of a little bit more durable, and then it has the same screw. And these just don't wear off. Like these ones will. The 710, I don't know if it's going to come out in the camera, but it is worn a little bit. It is actually kind of a different screw head. Not that big of a deal, but something I've noted. Fit and finish on this is perfect. The centering's perfect. I'm trying to get this to come into focus. I haven't, I don't take a microscope or a periscope or a magnifying glass or binoculars or a spotting scope or anything to look at this stuff, but it's pretty flawless, really well constructed. And I kind of point that out because these ran cheaper than the regular old Benchmade branded knives. They're all different. They're all unique in their own way. I don't know if there's any really that, I think eventually after Benchmade kind of dropped the HK line, they took some of those designs and then put Benchmade's name on them and maybe changed a couple things aesthetically, but not much. But then back when they're actually producing them at the same time, I don't think there was a whole lot of going back and forth. Like each one was unique. So I think this one probably filled the role of this, but completely different knife. Pretty unique to this. There's differences like, just handle shape. This has more of the traditional. It's not quite the traditional striker, but striker shape, but it's close. And then definitely the unique striker blade. That's another thing to point out is kind of like why I like these. Is the Tano itself, angle Tano, like from the, can't remember the name of that, Ricote, I think it's something, Ricote, that point there. Anyway, when it goes up from your, kind of your belly, your primary blade angle there, it goes up kind of at a lower angle. This one's a little steeper. And then another example to show, nothing against Cold Steel, but it is much more abrupt, much more acute, a higher angle. So you can kind of detect the differences in the Tano. I don't know which one is better. This one maybe is a little bit more robust, a little bit more durable, but this one's going to pierce that much better, I would think. This thing is perfect for like working on stuff where you got to like pop a zip tie off something like a bike part, and you don't want to scratch anything. It's kind of like you get in there and you can just pop that off really easily, where this one would be probably a little bit tougher. This one just, can kind of get under things a little bit better. Same with this. But you can see it's a little, it's kind of like they had the cross between the two, kind of halfway in between. Pretty nice. And I'll get rid of this. This thing, though, I'll do a review on this. This thing's a work of art. Hollow ground. I mean, it's a big blade, but it carries well. And, you know, perfect centering for like a, what is this? Is this a 5.5 inch? I think it's a 5.5 inch blade. I mean, you can put it in your pocket too. This thing, I normally, when I do use it, I throw it in my Camelback, and you can tell. And I'll get into this too, because I got some other reviews with AUS 8As. This is the older version with the AUS 8A steel. And like I have it, the only thing I've used it really for is I've done a tad bit of carving just to check the edge every once in a while, but it's just chopping. And this coating will come off, but it hasn't come off on here. On this knife, it has along here, maybe a little bit along the edge, but not much. But it hasn't seen like extensive use, just short bursts of aggressive use. Anyway, so I just want to point out the differences in those two Tontos. Kind of a coffin-shaped handle for your ergonomics. Finger cutouts. It's a little short, not bad. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't used this extensively, so it might create a hot spot. I mean, I would say it's a lot better than an Emerson, or not an Emerson, but like a Strider. Strider, they get fat back here, and then they got kind of a raised portion here, kind of a point right there that'll get you. So that might, but it's not quite as pronounced. And that's just me personally how I do it. For most people, it might not be a problem with that Strider style. The only Strider I have is the ProTech, the auto version. So that might be a problem with that point. I haven't come to that yet. Pointed out this one doesn't have it, so that might be an advantage of that's the striker design. Same finger cutouts and everything, pretty much, but not a problem here. Very good cutter for what I have cut with it. Haven't sharpened it. I do have two. This is D2. It's awesome. It's got that sweet recurve. I've been touching it up a little bit. Works good with like just a Spyderco Sharpmaker rods, especially the peaks to get the belly portion here, or the recurve portion here. When you get up to about right here on this knife anyway, the flats work well. So pretty much it's still sharp down this portion. You get up here though, it's like a razor from there on up to the tip. Very sharp. So as far as that recurve goes, and the D2, I have the Griptilian D2. They just sharpen up real nice, real nice. So I got no problem with Benchmade's D2. So I'm assuming it's the same stuff on this HK, being it was built in the same factory. So that's pretty much all I got to say about this particular knife at the moment anyway. If I think of anything else, I might redo the video, but just wanted to shoot a video on this one. I got knives all over the place. I'm touching some of them up, sharpening some. Got some different sharpening systems I'm using for some of them, because I got some Scandi ground knives and kind of fooling around with those, regrinding, put a reprofiling one, and then got some AUS 8A from Ontario I'm working on. Probably shoot a video on that knife, Rat 1. Pretty cool. Been fooling around with the edge on this. So I don't know if I'm going to do a video on it, but has seen some use. Most of that's just from cutting up a cardboard box. That particular scratch, I think, was from Sharpening. I did that. And then these right here are from Sharpening. But otherwise, you can see how the cutting's coming off pretty quick on this thing. But it's fun. Using some different, doing a lot of freehand style type stuff with it. It's good for that. And then I got another knife, different company, same steel, that is much better. Because like I'll just point out right now on this particular one, from here, from my thumbnail, if you can see that, up to about right here, just a wonky grind on the knife. And I noticed that initially. I thought it was just like that first like half inch, like right here, but it actually goes up a little bit further. So trying to get that sharpened down because it's a hollow ground knife, and you can see where the ricasso is, or the plunge grind, I guess, right here. Totally affects it. Like they basically just scraped the paint off of it. It was like, you know, 1/8 of an inch thick there where you're supposed to have the apex of your edge. But I'm getting it down, and it's from like probably here up. It's sharp. Not too thrilled with it, with this K-bar, this particular one anyway, because I've done a lot of sharpening on it, and it just won't really hold an edge. Definitely did not hold an edge when it came to that cardboard box I cut up. I kind of cut up into confetti. But it gets sharpens up, and it doesn't burr up too much, which is odd because the Ontario knife I have gets razor sharp, but it burrs up big time, and so that's just kind of interesting how that's playing out. So anyway, I will be shooting more videos for my 2 viewers, or 1, sometimes 2. Anyway, have a good rest of your day. Thank you.